I can't recall the last time I've seen an episode of anything that was so cleverly written that I was so upset that I had to literally pause the episode, get up, take a walk, make a cup of tea, and then come back and finish the rest of it. That is remarkable. Anyway, welcome back to our weekly Fruits Basket discussion video, Fruits Basket Season 2 discussion video. Today we're here to talk all about episode 10, Who Are You? But before we get into the episode itself, I do want to give a big thank you to those of you who shared last week's video over on Twitter. So of course, thank you to Similarity, Atkinson Calvin, Morgan Romero, Marquinty2, and Matt87 Eagle. Thanks so much for sharing last week's video, you guys, and if you too would like to be in the next Fruits Basket video, then be sure to share this video around on the internet and then tag me at JoJo Talks Too Much over on Twitter, and I will be sure to shout out the first 5 of you in next week's video. Also, if you haven't done so yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to reach 25k before the end of the year, and I think we can do it, but if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I would really appreciate it. Oh my goodness. Okay, Fruits Basket. Fruits Basket, Fruits Basket, Fruits Basket, Fruits Basket, Fruits Basket. Oh my. I don't have the words to sum up what I'm feeling. I am mad. I'm mad. I'm emotional. And yet I'm proud at the same time because I didn't think I didn't know how Toru was going to react, honestly. I had a feeling that this episode was going to have the two of them confront each other, just because I felt like that's sort of where everything was leading, was this big confrontation, this second confrontation between Toru and Akito, and I didn't expect it to go this way, and I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. This was a lot. A part of me was nervous during this that Toru would I don't want to say abandon the Sohmas or anything, but I was worried that this would hurt her opinion of them, that this would change how she views them. I do think that the show is forever changed because of the beach arc. I've heard some manga fans talk about how the beach arc changes everything. Flora Red's videos in particular kind of hinted that after the Fruits Basket, or after the beach arc in Fruits Basket, everything changes for the series. And I feel that. I really, really feel that. I don't think things will ever be the same. Just because of how much Yuki and Kyo have grown, but also Toru being confronted by Akito. And if there's one thing about that confrontation that I took away, is that both of these people, Toru and Akito, are the ties that bind. They're both two people who are connecting the Sohmas. The difference is, it's very much a yin-yang type of situation, where Akito keeps the Sohmas together out of fear and aggression, literally binding them, the ties that bind in every sense of the word, in all the negative sense of the word. Whereas Toru is more like the ties that connect instead of bind. She connects the Sohmas through kindness and happiness, and it's so interesting to see the parallels here. There's Akito's rage, and then there's Toru's kindness. And these are two people who so clearly are on opposite ends of the spectrum. They are literally inverted versions of each other. And I'm going to start by talking about Akito, since that's where a lot of the episode is centered around, and also where a lot of the conflict comes from. And I have my notes. As you can maybe tell, I haven't really been looking at them just because I'm going very much off the cuff this time. I am feeling a lot of emotions. Sorry to scream, but I'm really reining it in. At least I'm trying to, because Akito is maybe the most despicable character I've come across in some time. I really detest everything about this character, to the point that even if FruBa does what it do, and they try to give Akito some level of redemption, I will never accept it. There's no planet where I can ever accept anything that Akito has done. And there will be no redemption for Akito as far as I'm concerned, especially at this point. So I'm very curious to see how they flesh out that character, because those are the interesting characters who you do feel like when Akito shows up on screen, even though I hate them with with every fiber of my being, I hate Akito. That's an incredible skill for an author to have, to craft a character so detestable that not even having them on screen, just the name alone makes people erupt into, ooh, you know what I mean? Like that, ooh, Akito. You've heard me say that a handful of times, just, ooh, Akito. So that's an incredible skill. And there's some characters who, even though you hate them, and you love to hate them, when they're on screen, you can't deny, a very morbid, twisted part of you is excited to see what they're going to do. And when Akito is on screen, I am excited to see what Akito is going to do. Specifically to see if somebody's finally going to punch Akito in their big dumb face. Like they punched my boy, my precious bean, in the face. But we'll get to that. But there is no character, not in this show, not in any show, at the very least that I've seen this year, that can rival the unbridled rage that dwells inside when I see them on screen. Akito is despicable in every sense of the word, and seeing their twisted viewpoint on how all the Sohmas, all the members of this family with this curse, they're not people to Akito, they're playthings. And I don't know if maybe that will change. I have a feeling, like, I'm gonna hope against hope that there's a happy ending at the end of Fruits Basket. Just based off how the show has presented itself, I have to assume that this will end happy, even if there's so much darkness right now. I'm very much doing a Samwise Gamgee from Lord of the Rings, where sometimes you don't want to know the end, because how could the end be happy? But at the same time, I have to believe that it's going to end that way, so I have to believe that Akito will eventually learn what an unbelievable douchebag they have been, and that Shigure's plan will work. I gotta believe in my husbando Shigure. Although I will say, and this is something that I don't know how to even form into words what I'm feeling towards characters like right now, specifically Shigure, and Yuki, Kyo, and Haru, and to a lesser extent Hattori, but they knew that was gonna happen. And Yuki, Kyo, and Haru watched that happen. Momiji stood up, but the rest of them watched. And I know why they watched. I know, but a part of me is pissed. Like, a part of me is really mad. And I understand why, but I'm mad at them. I'm, like, actually mad at those characters. I still love them. They're still my boys. And that's the thing with the show, right? Is it puts you in this position where you're like, I can't believe you would leave Toru out there. Akito clawed her face in front of you. They drew blood. And you watched. And at the same time, another part of me is like, but you know why they watched. And you know Kyo was about to run out. And Haru stopped him. And that is the right thing to do. Because if Kyo ran out, everything would have gone to shit. And that's... The writing is so tight that I can't even be like, well, why wouldn't the characters do that? You know why the characters wouldn't do that. Well, how come they didn't do this? You know why they can't do this. It's... and it makes it almost more frustrating that it's like, that's just the nature of this story. That it's written so well that sometimes it's infuriating. And I was... like, I've never been so mad in my life. I couldn't imagine reading this. I cannot believe the restraint. I have been spoiled on one major thing in regards to Fruits Basket. I was not spoiled on that, and I was not spoiled on what was going to happen here, and I was not spoiled on who Akito was. Now, I knew Akito was the leader of the household. I knew this, but I didn't know that Akito was basically God, and that's heavy. And that paints a whole new layer on everything. So, like, of course they didn't run out. Akito's essentially God to the Sohmas. Of course they didn't defy God. That really, adds a whole new layer onto things. I always knew Akito was the head of the Sohma estate. Don't get me wrong. I get that. But God? That makes a lot of sense. Now that scene at the beginning, the very beginning, I'm talking like episode 1. Now, I'm starting to put pieces together. I feel like I understand some more shit. So Akito must be like a descendant of some kind of like the human who was like with the Zodiac, way back. Again, don't tell me. You manga fans have shown incredible restraint, and I cannot thank you enough for that. So don't tell me if I'm right. Mind you, I have a feeling that maybe reading the comments for FruBa for the next little bit might be a bad idea. I don't even know if I'll be here for the live chat, but I probably will, because I got to see reactions to this episode, so I'm probably there. Hi, future me. But damn, I don't know what to say. This is probably the most scattershot video I've done in a long time. Akito is God, and Toru is so emotionally strong that she is ready to stand up to God. That's kind of dope, and actually kind of metal when you say it out loud. And that is what I want to end on. That's what I want to end this video on. That's who I want to talk about. I am so proud of Toru. I am so incredibly proud of Toru. She definitely lost that confrontation, that battle of words between her and Akito. Although Akito was not just using their words, Akito laying hands on Toru might have been the most infuriating thing I've ever seen. But Toru deciding that she doesn't care. Toru deciding that she's team free will, basically. That she's gonna rip up the ending and the rules, to quote Supernatural, but that Toru is still gonna try to change the predestined path that lies ahead of the Sohmas, her friends, essentially her second family. And I can't be more proud of her. I have never the other day I said I've never wanted to hug a character as much as I wanted to hug Kyo. Oh my god. This is different, right? I wanted to hug Kyo last week because I wanted him to tell him it's not his fault. In that he's good and he is loved. And the same thing with Yuki. I need Yuki to know that he is good and that he is loved. But with Toru, she knows that. She doesn't, occasionally she might need to be told that, but she knows that. I don't want to hug Toru because I feel like she's hurting right now. I wanted to hug Toru because I was so proud. I was so proud of Toru. I've never been that proud of a fictional person in my life. The writing for Toru is insane when you think about it, because it's her whole character trait is that she is good. And if this were in the hands of any other writer, that would be a recipe for disaster. That's a hard character to write, that they are good 24/7. That's difficult. But Toru is so precious. She's so sweet and layered, despite the fact that on the outside she might seem like a simple character. There's a lot going on beneath the surface. And I love Toru to pieces. I loved this episode to pieces, even though it drove me insane. But that's the sign of excellent writing, is the fact that I can look at this episode that made me so mad I had to pause it and walk away, that I can look at this episode and say, that was a masterclass. This might be the best episode of this entire season. And I'm not just talking about Fruits Basket here. I mean the entire season that we are in. I haven't seen a better episode from any other show. I'm not even kidding. Fruits Basket takes best episode of the spring season. That's just a straight up fact. With that said, everybody, thank you for listening to me ramble at the mic. This was less of a video and more of a catharsis. I just felt like I had to rant and ramble after that. I was shaking at the end of the video, or at the end of the episode. I was a little bit more calm by the time I got to the mic. Believe me, if I had gotten like immediately to the mic, I would have just been screaming this whole time. But thank you for watching. If you haven't done so yet, by the way, don't forget to boop the up snoot and share if you care. And again, if you haven't subscribed, maybe do that. Also, if you would like to join the T Squadron, then be sure to check out that first link in the description to check out our Patreon page. And if you want to help the channel, you can do so for as little as $1 a month and join the names you see floating across your screen. It would be super appreciated if you considered checking that out. But on that note, everybody, I'm going to go have a second cup of herbal tea because I feel like I need it. Do me a favor and maybe just send some good vibes my way. I could use the help to ease my rage right now. But yeah, that's it. So until next time, you stay classy, AndyTube, and wash your dang hands.